Welcome you all to SUG Kolkata. Today we have Ritesh Kumar with us. He is Vice President Engineering in Ikrion, sorry, and with Shubham Lekhi is also Senior Technical Lead in Ikrion. Today they will guide us through the Sitecore Search from configuration to go live. So let's start. Over to you, Ritesh.
Thank you, guys. You can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So just bring this up. Just give me a second. Huh? Okay, so let's get started. So hi everyone. Thank you for joining today. Today we'll try to share our learning and knowledge around Sitecore Search. The idea of this topic is more around anyone who wants to start setting up Sitecore Search from scratch and take it all the configuration, make sure that everything is set up end to end, and how to move this to go live, right? So that's the goal of this session. And the way session will be divided, we'll talk about some initial concepts around Sitecore Search, and I'm sure you already might have heard it, but it's a quick refresher of the search fundamentals within the context of Sitecore Search. And then we'll have a live demo where you will get the real insight. Anybody who has not got an opportunity to actually work on the Sitecore Search product, how we set up different aspect of the search in terms of basic filtration, relevancy, sorting, those kind of thing. And go, after the demo, if you have any questions, or maybe in between you have any question, feel free to ask. Okay. I'll jump on to quick stuff. So as you know, I'm Ritesh. I work as a VP engineering at Icreon, working on the Sitecore most 8 years. I had the digital experience practice in Icreon, and with me, I have Shubham. Shubham, introduce yourself, please.
Thank you, sir. So, hello everyone. I'm Shubham Lekhi, working as a senior technical lead in Icreon. So, I have total of more than 11 years of experience in IT industry, and also having more than 8 years of experience in Sitecore. So, that is more around me.
Thanks, Shubham. So at the end of this session, when what we are trying to cover, as I mentioned, like you are giving you 1 hour. So what you expect at the end of today's session is we will go through the understanding of Sitecore Search, different concepts, how Sitecore Crawler works, the implementation around configuration, how you use JavaScript Extractor to development and integration, in with regards to configuration and mapping, how to set up advanced features, filtering, faceting, different types of API option, how you make sure that if when the search is getting indexed and there is some issues, how to troubleshoot, like indexing logs, looking into the analytics. So we'll try to cover all these major areas of search. I'm sure everything is not possible in doing 1 hour, but we'll try to utilize best of time. So to start, very fundamental thing, we are talking within the ecosystem of Sitecore. So Sitecore Search is a powerful search engine, right? It was, so if you remember a little bit historically, it was a couple of years back, we used to use SQL queries, putting data into document DB, trying to create indexes in the DBs, and either use Elastic to deliver the search. But now when Sitecore moves into the composable composable world, there this is one of the flagship product where it evolved really well in last couple of years. What it does is it's give you it's a easy to set up a product, not very complex in nature, where it gives you an interface where you go, you configure what attributes you want to set up, and it has the ability to provide you a personalized search result, recommendations, and it can you can ingest the data from different sources within that search context. So it's a very powerful search engine. Recently there are a lot of AI driven feature also is there, where you have headless content. When you say headless content, you have your XM cloud, there are other sources of information, but front end is still able to serve the efficient search result. So overall, it's a powerful search engine, deliver fast and relevant personalized search result. Also, with recent features like product discovery, predictive and personalized search experiences. So that's the product is all about. Now, in terms of basic concepts, like when we talk about search, these key points are very important, right? You all have used search, you all have implemented search. So let's quickly talk about some basic concepts around this. So if you see what we have mentioned here is, it is important to align some key search concepts that shapes how modern search system behaves, right? Every search experience starts with crawling and indexing, where you discover content and convert into a searchable entities, right? So there are source of information where you extract the data, like you have a 10 100 or pages on the website, but those contents are there on the pages, but how you extract that data, right? So that's portion is mainly crawling the information, right? Sitecore discovers content from various sources and converts into a structured document called entities. So when it pulls the data, that becomes like in a certain structure format, and in the word in the terminology of either Sitecore or in general search terminology, that is called as a entity. And every entity has attribute associated with it, which means that, for example, metadata field like category, language, or product type, right? These are the fields which is considered as a attributes within that category. And now once you have these attributes, so these attributes drive filters like when you go on Amazon, you see filter left hand side, phone below 20,000, phone below 10,000, right? So or maybe different search criteria. So there are few terms which use very frequently in search. One is the filters, facets, right? The idea is to you give an opportunity to user to narrow down the search. And again, the next step comes like sorting the information, right? So we crawl the data, we had put in a structured, from the structure we define the attributes, then we talk about relevancy and ranking. It's more around in which order you want to show the result, like how relevant it is. If I search for a Samsung or iPhone, right? So that result has to be it very relevant to that user. It should not like bring Samsung something else instead of phone, right? So the relevance and ranking, like what will come at the top, what will go at the down, it works based on the weightage of the content. Like when we index a page and say, okay, if in the page there is an iPhone 17, for example, right? So iPhone 17, it is a complete text find in the header or description, then we say, oh, take this uh, content at the top of the page in the search result, right? So that's your relevance and ranking, and Sitecore Search gives you an ability to manage that within the interface itself. So uh, then once you have relevance, then you provide facet filtering. Then we talked about search widgets. This is very important and very unique features where you have a widgets, pre-built widgets, right, to build your UI experience. And we will see during the demo how it works, right? So once the UI is designed, then it means your search is ready to go. You crawl the data, you created the attributes, you define what is the relevance of the data, creating different sort criteria, and so your search is good to go after UI. Now, on top of that, there are some advanced features which provide, right? One of them is personalization, which is like you are tailoring the search result experience based on the visitor ID, right? What that visitor is looking for, what is their location, what they have searched, what they have searched in, within the context recently, and that kind of recommendation you do. And then what user is doing with those results, you capture those analytics, those events, right? And that helps you in creating the optimizing the interactions, like how better you serve that user. Index synchronization is something like today you have 10 product, tomorrow it got a 15, to how you are making sure that your search is being updated at the same point of time with having all the latest information, right? So that's more the concept around uh, index synchronization. And at the end, we have a concept of synonym and tokenization. So these are like some advanced features where you talked about like what it does uh, is it's something like a linguistic concepts, like you have a concept of stemming tokenizations in which helps user more naturally by accounting for a variation in languages. Like if you want to do different type of languages, it improve the query understanding within that, right? So these are some fundamental concepts, right, which we will talk about more into detail, right? Now, with regards to at high level, how Sitecore Search works in terms of architecture, right? So if you see at the left hand side, there are different sources. In the middle, big box, which talks about Sitecore search user interface, right? It is a combination of, first thing is the content what we have indexed, the different utility or options available within the Sitecore Search, like you have a pages, you have a widgets, there are resources and administration portion of the Sitecore Search. And on top of that, you got your analytics, like interactions, which user interacts. And this is more around where users search for a information and you display the result, right? So this is technically how high level Sitecore Search architecture looks like. It is very important to understand the flow where to design the scalable and a high performing search, right? And if I talk about connector, so on these are the sources, like these sources are using using connector, right? And their jobs pull the data from these sources, transform it and create as an index document, right? So you have all the content indexed here. There is other way where you do a bulk ingestion, like you have a source of data somewhere available, but you want to ingest those through a bulk process, right? Not doing a API or website crawl kind of thing, right? So that's a ingesting the data within the search, right? So search sources are there, and there's other way you can do the ingestion API. The goal here is to all these processed information is stored, right? And within the world of Sitecore Search, it is called as a content collection, right? So this all the information gets stored here, content collection. This is we call as a heart of the platform, right? When a user performs a search, Sitecore never queries your live system, right? It always hits the content collection for performance and consistency. Because if it start going through individual system, there might be a inconsistent data, right? But if it works within the indexed information, then it gives the performance and consistency. Once the content is inside the system, which enrich using attributes, like as I mentioned, there is a attributes, metadata, category, languages, tag, right? Those things get enriched here. So we index it, then there is an enrichment also happens. Enrichment meaning you have a piece of data, but you are adding some additional attributes to that to make more discoverable. Like it is easy to search. It could be language, it could be tag, right? And after that, these attributes then drive your filtering, faceting, relevancy, sorting, right? Those kind of thing. So in overall nutshell, this is like important process, because this is the way you structure the data or index the data within the content collection that drives your search, right? So it's very important to visualize, like if you have 100 of insights or a blogs on your website, how you want to structure. You want to structure by year, by month, by author. So those kind of thinking needs to be uh, uh, gi- given before you index the data. And then these are the different options available within the platform. Then when we go here from a user perspective, so we say, okay, Sitecore Search UI, where both developer and your marketer configure search pages like widget, filter, synonyms. And also there is something concept called boosting. So boosting means you are saying that, okay, based on certain parameters, I want to boost the result. I want to increase the weightage so that this particular item goes top in the list, right? All interaction on the UI, anything user does on UI, right? That is get uh, there is something called search and the recommendation API that interacts with the search. So front end integrates with the API, which is part of your main Sitecore big box, right? And make sure that that is getting the data. Now, when the search result is displayed, there is something called event API. When whatever you user does here, right? It clicks, it capture all the events in the analytics, and that analytics later on can be have your user behavior. Then you have a personalized search or maybe recommendation and advanced filtration, right? So that's how it overall works, right? Uh, Sitecore provides you either you use Sitecore, and we'll talk about what all integration methods are available. Either it is SDK or REST API, but this gives you control over experience, and there is other lot of other options. You have a autocomplete feature, so we will talk about that. Any questions you have, feel free to ask, right? But this is very interesting to understand how this particular architecture works within the context of Sitecore Search. So what we have talked about here is at very high level, right? But if you see technically in terms of flow, you got content source, like different places from where you're getting the content that gets crawling and index, entities and attributes. Then you define relevance. Then you go to search UI, define your UI, how the UI looks like. Then once the UI is created, then user will, changes will be available on your front end, and then you will do event tracking, right? So there is something called UUID, which gets captured when user does certain behavior, and that helps you to tracking the user behavior. So all these boxes you see, like this is the typical sequence of search. This is how it works. After once the search is available on UI, then there are different way. Either user can do different experiences, autocomplete, sorting, faceting, those kind of thing, and then you capture the analytics. So this is the slightly detailed version of the flow what we just talked about. As we talked about, like you have a content sitting somewhere, you have your application separately. So what is the integration approaches which is currently available with the Sitecore Search, right? So these are the four main options are available. One is like it provides you uh, JavaScript SDK, which is mainly either you can use for React and Next. This is the fastest and easiest method to build in React. It comes with your pre-built component, personalization, cookies, those things are already pre-built. if your front end is React or any this kind of JavaScript library, this is the default method you can use for. Then there is there's something called Sitecore Cloud SDK. This is the first one is mainly for React. Second one you can use it for your Next or Angular kind of application, other JavaScript library, right? It integrates directly into your component architecture. If we are using XM Cloud, this is the most natural integration, right? The second one, Sitecore Cloud integration. When I say natural, it doesn't mean that you cannot use other method. It's like what is best compatibility you have, right? The third integration method with the with the Sitecore Search, which you can integrate, which is they call it as a JavaScript data package. It is a lightweight approach that works with any JavaScript framework. Uh, any JavaScript framework. It need not to be like a full when you don't need full React components, right? You don't need easy to make search queries without writing raw API. So this is the third option. And the fourth, which is like common. When I say common, it means REST API, right? So you can use REST API. So technically, if you see XM Cloud and Sitecore Search is like a composable product from Sitecore, right, which works very smoothly in terms of integration. But if you have product like Sitecore XP, right, you can still use Sitecore Search with XP. So uh, it's a composable, so it can be integrated with XP as well. Then talking about now slowly when we talked about all this, we'll get into the demo, right? And to work on the Sitecore Search from a dev or admin perspective, these are something prerequisites you should have, right? Like license, either you have your sandbox or your own license working on the. You should we have a clarity in mind, like what strategy is you want to use for integration, like or you want to use Sitecore Cloud SDK or JavaScript SDK, the integration method we talked about, right? Then you need to talk about like what is your indexing strategy, how you want to crawl the data, how you want to index the data. So these are some decisions need to be made based on your requirement, right? There is no hard and fast uh, rule that okay you have to use this process. It's based on the requirement where when to use web crawler, when to use API crawler, and we'll talk about that in a demo. And then mapping, like as I mentioned, you need to define attributes, you need to do a mapping decision, and at the end facets and filtering. So these are few things. License is key to have. Either you use your partner sandbox or any client license or your own license. What is the integration strategy you want to use? Decide that. And rest of the thing is like there is basic indexing, basic attributes. Then you have advanced features. And then, so that's what you need before you start configuring your search platform. So we'll jump into the demo. Let me know if you guys have any questions so far, but we can talk through demo. Let's focus on demo. It's Shubham gonna share his screen, and Shubham, feel free to start. I'll stop sharing.
Thank you, sir, for the in-depth explanation. Let me share my screen. Let me know once it's visible. So I've shared my screen.
Okay. See, just slideshow mode. Yeah, I can see it. Everybody, good. Yeah, let's get started.
Okay, so basically in this session, I'll walk you through the basic configuration and setup of Sitecore Search. So whether you are just someone with a no prior experience of Sitecore Search or Sitecore admin and Sitecore developer, so this session is designed to give you a practical understanding of Sitecore Search. So let me start. So this is basically the XM Cloud portal where we get different applications like Sitecore Search, XM Cloud, and all the applications provided by Sitecore. So when we click this, the Sitecore opens. This is the Sitecore Search portal. Here we get the basic site performance. These are the pages, widgets. I'll explain all the tabs. First, I'm explaining what is the Sitecore Search portal looks. So this is the analytic tab. This is the global resources. This is the content collection. So all these tabs are provided by Sitecore have proper meaning and have a proper functionality, which I'll explain later. So this is the sources. Then we have a developer resources tab. Then we have an administration tab. Here we can manage users and domain settings. So before starting, first we need to identify that what we need to search and what we need to show in the show in our search pages. Like taking an example of Icreon website, like we have this search page of Icreon. So in which we are showing all the content that is present on the Icreon website. So these are the industries that we work upon, like associations, manufacturing, professional services. These are the platform like Sitecore, Optimizely, AWS. So these are the platforms that we work upon, and these are the services that we provide, like experience transformation, digital commerce. So first we need to decide like how we are going to use our Sitecore search and what needs to be indexed and what needs to be shown to the user. So for that, we need to first create our source. And for creating source, we need to go to the sources tab over here. So I've already created a source for the demo, but I'll create a new one. Like from here, you can do the add source, then you can give the source name. I create on source demo. You can provide the description as well. And the connector. This is the basically the connector crawling strategy, like what we have to use. Like it's an API crawler when we use the data from the APIs, like we have some data present in the third-party application, or we have some data integrated through the third-party APIs. Then we use this API crawler, and then the data is pushed into Sitecore Search, and when the data is indexed and displayed to the user. So here, this one is similar to it, like the API push. We have to add, update, or delete individual documents. Then we need to use this kind of connector. This is a feed crawler. We have a CSV or JSON. Then we can use this feed crawler. This is the sales feed crawler. It's similar to the feed crawler. And then we have a web crawler and web crawler advanced. So in this session, I'll explain the web crawler advanced, that what we needs to be done during the demo of this. Then when we create a source, the new source will be created. Okay. So these are the basic settings that we can do after creating a source. Like this is the source information, like last time it's not run, so it's showing invalidate. Then source ID, this is the external ID, the schedule run and status. So this is all the basic information of Sitecore Search source. And then the general settings, like what is the name that we have provided, description and connector. So this is the web crawler settings, like allowed domains. So the domains that we have allowed is Icreon, that is present in the administration tab. I'll explain you that as well. So max depth is 2. That means it will crawl the depth of 2. Like when we open a page, it has all the it has a link to the other pages. So that that will be crawled using this max depth. It can be increased or decreased based on the requirement. So max URL is 1000, or we can set it to 500 or 10,000 based on the requirement, like how many URLs we need to crawl based on our functionality and based on our requirement. So this is that, and we can increase or decrease and anyhow. So this is the exclusion pattern. What we needs to exclude, like URLs, we can provide the regex, and we can exclude what URL need not to be crawled from the Sitecore Search. So this is the parallel workers, like this decide like how many index worker parallelly crawls our website. It can be set from 1 to 10. If it's 10, then the crawling will be fast, and it will crawl all the pages in quick time. So it's a delay in microseconds. It's the delay between the crawling of the pages, like when we crawl a page and then the next page will be crawled. So it's the delay between the crawling. Then the timeout setting, it's the timeout of any page, like when the crawler crawls the page, like it goes on this page and it has a lot of data, then it may sometime break, or sometimes the response doesn't come on the time. So it is the timeout. Then we can decide it will be like 10,000, or it depends on the page size and our performance of the website. So we can increase and decrease it this. These are the additional settings, like enable navigation cookies during crawling and render JavaScript. So I'll cancel this and go to the source that I've already created. So this one. General type I explained, web pro setting I explained you. Then the main part is document extractor. So based on the document extractor, it's the basic extractor, how the data is fetched from the website to the Sitecore Search. Like we can use a CSS, XPath, and JS in it. So once we add the JS, we can add any tagger, and this is the sample code that Sitecore provides. Like how the description, like the description is fetched from the meta tags of the website, or the OG description, and then how the title is, how the name is indexed from the website to the Sitecore Search, how the type is indexed, and how the URL is. This is the basic extractor method that Sitecore provides, and we can customize it based on our data. Like in the iCrayon, what we have done is we have use the page URL, publish date, that we need to display it to the front-end users. Like I mentioned, like we are displaying the industry platform services, that code we have done. Like this is the industry array, this is the services tag array, and this is the leadership array that we have fetched from our website and displayed to the front end. So based on the requirement, we can anyhow change the JavaScript code over here, and then push the data into the attributes, and then those data is displayed to the front end users. So I'll explain what are attributes in the next step. So this is the basic step of extractor. That what extractor does is it fetch the data from the website that we are indexing, and then pulls the data from using the JavaScript extractor, and then pushes the data into the Sitecore attributes and Sitecore indexes. So this is that, and then let me close it. So what we can also do is we can, one basic step that I missed is the triggers. The trigger one is depends on our requirement again. So whether it's a RSS trigger, is a request trigger, sitemap, or sitemap index trigger. So based on that, we can decide like how we want to trigger our website, or how we want to crawl our website. Like I've used the sitemap of the iCrayon website. Then this crawler basically does is it crawls the sitemap, then it crawls all the pages of the present in the sitemap of the website, and it crawls all the pages and fetches the data based on our extractor. So what we can do is we can also schedule our crawler, like when we want to crawl, whether it's a specific date or any time. And then if you want to repeatedly crawl your website, like each day or each week, then you can set based on that, based on the requirement, you can set like repeat every day, repeat end date is specific date. Okay, after this date, stop crawling, or you can set the process to never ending. So these are those settings. So basically, this is the setting of the iCrayon, is the setting of the Sitecore source. So once this is done, what we can do is we can decide what all data we need to show to the user. Like I mentioned, the attributes. So let me go to the attributes tab. It's like last tab, administration tab, then domain settings, then this attributes tab. So basically, these attributes decide like how we are keeping our data fetched from the website. like it's a banner, breadcrumbs. I already created few examples for the demo purpose, like industries format demo, like let me show you. So once, okay, let me create a new one, add attribute. So this is the content, then we have display name, like display is demo content one, and we have attribute name like demo content. This is the data type, like based on the content that we are fetching from the website, we can decide whether it's an integer, double, or array of string or array of integer. So based on that, we can do we can set our default set our default data type and default value. Description we can provide, alias, that's based on the requirement. We can set these values, like so these are the properties that we need to define, like whether it's a required one during our search integration, whether we have to return this in the API response or not, whether we need to convert it. So these are the options provided by Sitecore that based on our requirement we can set. So this I'll explain later. So any question till now during the creation of source and creation of attributes? Okay.
That's good. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So like I've shown in this, like these are the attributes and the facets provided by, we have set in our Icreon website, like we have 4 values in this, 7 or 6, 7 values in this, and 6, 7 values in this as well. So what Sitecore does, it by default, it creates attribute, and it's set as the default max value as 10. If there is an 11th value, then that is not to be that will not be displayed to the front end user. What we can do is we can go to the feature configuration, we can go in facets, and we can set the maximum value based on our requirement, like it will be 10, it will be 20. So we can change this anytime, and we can display it to the front end user, like okay, 20 values will be coming, or more than that. So it totally depends on our requirement. So default value is 10, and we can set it to any number based on the requirement. So order is like it depends on the, like here we are showing like 49, 4, or 3 based on the size of the, or the count of the facet we are showing it. We can show it alphabetically descending or ascending. So these settings are present over here. Like what we have to do is like ascending, descending, or the facet value count. Like you will see 105 is coming because we have set based on the facet value count. So this is the setting. So we can set the facets as attributes over there. These I'll explain later. Now once we are ready, we can anytime go into our source, and if everything is ready, then what we can do is we can start our crawling of the website. So it will crawl all the website, crawl the respective website, and it fetches all the data and push it into the attributes. So let me trigger it. So once triggered, it will show queued, and that it will show then maybe finished or failed based on the settings that we have done. So the next tab is the pages or the widgets tab. I'll explain what is pages. So once we create the Sitecore source, and we decide what attributes we have to show to the different show to the users on the website, we can create a page in Sitecore Search. So I've created 2 pages for the demo purpose, like Icreon page for demo, Icreon page for demo 1. When we go into the page, so it has a default variation. So it displays all the content that is indexed or that is fetched from the website. Like you can open the variation settings, general settings, and these are the settings that I have mentioned, like default variation. And this is the data that is coming from the website. Like it is the data, you can anytime look into it. So these are the data present. And we can also look the data from the content collection tab. Like this is the content. So this is the content browser. So 724 data is indexed from the website. Like we have two sources. One is returning 363 data, and other one is returning 361 data. So all the data combined will be displayed over here. You can anytime change the source like this one, and the data will be displayed over here. Like this is the other one. So this one. So 360 the data will become, and you can anytime click on the data and you can see what all data is indexed. Like we are pushing the ID into it, banner, what is content type is insights, the description of the page, so industries, leadership, name, title of the page, publish date, services. So all the facets and all the data we can see over here in the content collection tab, in the content, and these are the visitor tab. So it's just the demo website, so no visitors and no it will not display the visitor, but you can anytime look into it, like what all visitors on the website is coming. So there's the next is the widgets that we create. So widget is basically a customized widget that contains rules that impact the search result. Like what we can do is while creating a widget, let me create a new widget as well. So based on the widget, we can decide like it's a preview search, it's a search result. Like we have a preview over here. Like what we have a search bar over here. These many widgets are displayed. We have option of creating these many widgets like preview search result, recommendation widget, the banner widget, and the HTML block widget. So here we create a search result widget. Like then we can provide the widget name. What is the widget ID? What is the variation name? Like we can create a default variation, or we can create XYZ variation based on the requirement. So what is the used? What will be the widget used? Like it will come on the page. It will be a dialog widget. It will come across all the pages. So based on the requirement, we can decide what the widget purpose is going to be. Then clicking on next, it will create a widget. So I'll open a already created widget like this one. So in the widget setting, we can again go to the settings, and we can set the settings based on the requirement, what all we have to decide. Then in the widget variations, we can I have already created a default variation. Then this is the variation looks like. Then we can decide, okay, we need to add a boost rule, like we need to boost something. Like we can decide, okay, content type is, or you can decide, you can change the attributes to any industries for demo, anything you can change. Okay, this one is let me suppose I have done this, like industries for demo is manufacturing. Then the industries with the manufacturing demo will come as the boosted result. It will come at the top of the search result. Similar to this, we have a bury tab. Bury rules, in bury rules, it's just the opposite of boost. So we can anyhow decide like what needs to be shown to the last to the website visitor. So we can decide like, okay, industry for tab is not something association, then this will be buried and shown last at the search result. So similar to boost and bury, we have a different tab like blacklist rules. Okay, then we can this is the tab where we can filter out our results. Like if we select, okay, industry, or if you want to give some other attributes, then we can decide, okay, services is or is not data and AI, then this data will not be fetched, and this data will not be displayed to the front end user. So basically, these are the widgets, and these are the filter of the widget that we can create and anyhow display it to the front end users, like based on our functionality and based on our requirement.
Yeah, just to add that, like on this particular screen, if you see these features are like really advanced features, right? And see it is very easy, to configure. It's interface driven. You need not to like build any custom code for that. The important thing here is to understand the content structure, right? When you index the data into search. You remember we talked about the content container, right? So how you are pushing the data, that's not important. The important is how you are structuring the data within your search, right? So that you can configure these rules. And these are like advanced features. You can control the behavior of search for end user. Yeah.
Correct. So based on the boost, bury, and blacklist rules, we can decide what all to be displayed to the user, and we can create as many as widgets, and we can set on different pages. Like this page will show the services, this page will show the industry. So based on just a single source, we can create different widgets, and different data sets will be visible to the front end users. So these are the facets. Basically, these are the attributes that we are displaying to the front end user. So these I'm talking about, like industry, platform, and services. Then that we can select, like services, industries, or leadership. We can display it to the front end users. So this is the live website, and this is the demo one. So there may be data discrepancy, like data is I'm selecting something else, and data the displayed data is something else. But it is similar to the setup. So like we can set like services, we can set industries, or we can set any n number of facets overlay. Like we can enable any platform, or we can enable industries. So these are the facets we can decide. Then the textual relevance, like we can enable the configuration, and we can enable it, like description and name and title of the facet. It decides the relevance of the data. Like when we move the name upwards, then all the data will be shown based on the name. Like first this content is displayed, then the next content is displayed based on the name and title. If description is above that, then the description is given the priority, and then search result works on that. So similar to that, we have search ranking, like enable configuration. What we can do is review ratings. We have different options, and we can select based on our requirement, like what we have to display to the front end users. So this is the personalization tab that we discussed in the slides. Like what we can do is we can this is a strategy, like more like this or more like that. These are the attributes. Like we have based on the requirement, we can decide like what needs to be displayed to the particular user. So this is a personalization tab, and this is a sorting tab. Like we can enable or disable the sorting as well. Like we have the options over here, like relevancy, publish date, ascending or descending. So based on that, we can decide. So all the settings that we need to display to the front end user are decided from the widget itself. Like what we have to bury, what we have to boost, and what we have to filter it out, what kind of facets we have to display, what is the textual relevance, what is the search ranking and personalization. So everything is decided from the widget. So widget is the basic block and the most important feature of Sitecore Search.
Shubham, one quick question regarding the search. Like, how quickly is the new content indexed and available for search? Like, if in our source there is some updation on data, so how long it will take to reflect on our search result?
So it totally depends on the
Mm-hmm.
type of source we are using. Like if it's an API source, and we have scheduled it of like for
Mm-hmm.
every 24 hours, so then the next crawler runs in 24 hours.
Okay,
Then
it's
only
depend
the
on web crawler, the crawler
correct,
which we have did the settings.
correct,
So
correct.
there is like
Also,
yes, sir.
Also, what
Mm-hmm.
you can do is you can
Mm-hmm.
set like event. For example, you
Mm-hmm.
publish something and
Mm-hmm.
same time you want to index it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
those are like, suppose you created new content and you want to publish that page,
Mm-hmm.
and you want that once the page is published, that data should
Mm-hmm.
also be available in the search. So those kind of settings are there, like what technique you use to push the
Mm-hmm.
data into the
Mm-hmm.
indexing, normal indexing concept. So that those flexibility are there. Go
Mm-hmm.
ahead. Shubham.
Yes. The second one the sir mentioned is like indexing from the on the events, based on the events. So we need to go into Sitecore, and we can create events and webhooks, and based on the data push from the APIs, we can show it to the front end users. So it
Mm-hmm.
will be like live, you can
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Content collection I already explained. So
Mm-hmm.
let me go to the most important tab for the developers, especially. So this one is developer resources. So it's already named developer resources, then the API Explorer. So in this, what we can do is we can check what is the data returned from the API. Like we can create, okay, we can select the, oh, it's not coming. Let me refresh it. So this is like, I have created a page called iCreon page for demo 1. Then the widget is just a second. Now it's correct. Okay, so widget is automatically selected, the Sitecore widget for demo 1. Then I build it, then I run it, and the result is displayed to me. Like what will be the what is the API returning to me, the same will be returned to the front end user. And based on the integration, like we have used the cloud SDK or JavaScript SDK, then based on that we will consume this data and display the same to the front end users. So it will display like 725 results. We have total 725 results on the website, and we will display all these results. So I can change and check what is the second widget or what is the second page displaying displaying the data to me, like build it, then run it. So that's what I am saying. Like based on the widget, we can see what all data is to be returned to us. Like the other API is returning all the complete data because I haven't set any bury rule and boost rule in that. So it is all the blacklist rule. So it is returning complete data of the website. Now I've set the filtering in this next widget. So I'm already getting the 12 results based on that. So I can show you. Okay. Okay, the other one maybe. So this one, that's why, so I'm blacklisting the industries to manufacturing. So that's why I'm receiving only 12 results. Okay, let me go again to the attributes tab. Okay. So as I mentioned, I am selecting the attributes in the widgets of the Sitecore Search. So, but all these widgets are not, all these attributes are not by default available to select in the rules. So what we have to do is we can go in the feature configuration, we can go into the filters, we can set anytime the filter of the filter type, and we can anytime go the sorting options. These are the sorting options like algorithm sorting. These are the default sortings that Sitecore provides, and we can add any attributes like publish date we have created, and based on the publish date we can set like okay, descending and ascending. Based on the requirement we can set like okay, these are the sorting options, like what we can use. And based on the sorting options, these sorting options come in the widgets and we can select it like I have shown it to you. So these are the suggestions block, like title autocomplete. So this is the default suggestion block that Sitecore provides. Like these are the analyzers, these are the algorithm that Sitecore is used. Number of records returned is 5, and the name and title is returned. Like this is the different did you mean suggestion block. These are the suggestion block that Sitecore is by default providing. So we can create anytime our suggestion block based on our requirement. So this is I've already explained like what is the maximum and minimum value of that. Okay, the point I was explaining is this. Okay, let's suppose we have to filter or we have to set any rule. So that is not available by default into the rule set. So we have to select this option like available for rules and available for hard filters. And this is the so these are the different checkboxes that we require based on our functionality. So available for set context and different settings. So and this is the tab where we can select okay, this is the facet that we need to display over here. This will work as a filter, this will work as personalization or similar to that. So all in all, this is the basic setting that that we can do in Sitecore Search, and our search is ready and will be providing the data using the APIs that I have explained in the API Explorer tab. Okay. So I have indexed it, so it just shows the indexing is complete. Like earlier it was showing as queued. So it is last runtime is 540. What we can do is we can anytime check what all data is indexed based on the analytics tab. We can check what all jobs has run in the current source. Like we can go in the analytics tab. So it will load all the last jobs and we can check, okay, this job, what all data is indexed. If any item is, it will be helpful once any job fails. So what we can check what all data, what all pages the crawler visited and what all data is scrolled and what failed in our application. So this time it's successfully indexed everything. So no error pages are displayed. We can anytime check this, like what is dropped and what is failed. So all in all, these are the basic steps and basic configuration settings that we perform for Sitecore Search, and we get the data into the front end. So these are some advanced Sitecore Search features, like search is AI-driven relevance and ranking that I displayed. Like it goes and check the data, like machine learning
You're
adjust
showing
the
this
ranking.
slide. You're showing the slide. So it's
Yes,
not coming up.
okay.
Maybe you need to just switch the screen. Yeah.
Correct. Let me share again. Is it visible?
Yeah.
So these advanced Sitecore search features I was talking about, like AI-driven relevance and ranking, personalization of site search results that that we explained during the demo, like what personalization settings we have and what personalization settings we can do in Sitecore search.
Yeah. I think overall you have seen the journey. Like important Sitecore Search in totality is a very robust product, right? And it's a very easy to configure from interface. You need to have a prerequisite license and other related relevant access. You should understand how you want to structure the content, what options you want to give in terms of filtering, sorting. So this is how the end-to-end look like. One thing is, I know we're left with 1 minute. So when we migrate, suppose you have done the setup into one environment for your search and you want to go live, right? So in that scenario, I think only attributes can be copied, right, Shubham? Which you can get help from
Sitecore, yes.
Sitecore team to get that migrated from one environment. But currently, that's one of the challenges. Most of the thing has to be redo in the other environment. In totality, it's a good, solid product, right? And that's all we have for today's session. If you have any questions, we can address that, or feel free to connect us on the LinkedIn. Okay, happy to help.
Yep. Any question from anyone?
Cool. I think I appreciate your time, everybody. So hope it is
Yeah.
helpful for you guys.
Thank you, Ritesh and Shubham, for the insightful session. It was a great learning for us,
Thank
and
you.
thank you all for joining the session. The mid
Thank
of
you,
the week.
everyone.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
guys. Have a good day.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Cheers.